mean, there is an acting aspect. I know it sounds stupid, but there is an acting aspect to all of it.
So what is it about your hands?
My mother always said I had beautiful hands. Nail artists always say, "Oh, you have such long nail beds." I think that's what my agent would say, like, "Oh, you have very elegant hands." But I think the long fingers, the long nail beds, long nails. I have a dancer background, so I think I have like very graceful movements with my hands, and so I feel like I get like a lot of like beauty products and things like that.
For kind of comparison, like if you look at my hand, would I be a hand mod or like, oh man, your hands are
I mean, you have manly hands, so I feel like you could do like, you know,
like Home Depot?
yeah, like Home Depot. Yes, exactly. I think that's the thing. I think that there is work for all kinds of hands. That having said, there are things that shoot more. Like there's a ton of beauty products. So elegant, nice hands that fit well for beauty products work a lot. Um, but like if you have a special skill, like my partner is a professional musician, and during the pandemic when he was working in theater and everything closed down, he was out here, and I asked my agent, I was like, hey, I always make fun of his hands because I say he has like, I don't know how he plays the guitar with these fat fingers. And they were like, I was like, hey, is there any work for a musician for hand modeling during the pandemic? And he's like, send me pictures. You never know. He was like, if something comes up and they're asking like, hey, we need like a highly skilled guitar player for this shoot, then absolutely, I'll just keep him in mind.
So not only do you have to have kind of nice hands, but it's better to have like nice hands and some skills along with it.
Exactly. Like I have drawing skills, so I do. One of my clients that hires me a lot is Hello Kitty Sanrio, and they have a whole YouTube channel where they do like crafting videos and baking videos. So I do those a lot because I don't know that there are a lot of hand models with drawing skills. And like with OPI with nail stuff too, like even sometimes it's just print, it's not video, but you want to like they want you to hold it elegantly. And actually I have nail polish right here. You can like how can you hold this bottle so that it looks beautiful, So that it sounds silly. It is silly, but but it comes in handy. And also because I was an actor, so just I think that's probably one of the more difficult things. I think for people who don't already have experience on set, I think is like all you really need to do is like have nice hands and like hit your mark, right? So if I'm like like the new whatever and action, you know what I mean? Like I have to hit that same spot every time.
So it's positioning of it. Like there is some technical ability that has to go along with this.
A little bit. And it's one of those things where, as an actor, you're on set, you're like, oh, I have to like hit that mark and also remember my lines and also cry. You know what I mean? So like not like when you're a hand model, like you already have the experience. You're like, oh yeah, I just have to hit that mark. Great. And he's like, oh, beautiful, great job. And you're like, oh, okay.
So how did you get into this? Did you know? Like were you destined to be a hand model?
I mean, I was an actor. I studied musical theater in college, and I went into theater and I toured a lot. And then I came out here on the West Coast, and I stayed after being on a Broadway tour and did commercials as an actor and stuff. And I on set one time, a woman was like, because if you're acting in the commercial, sometimes they'll use your hands for close-ups, whatever. And I remember a DP or something saying like, "Oh, you have great hands. You should be a hand model." And I was like, "Ah," because I didn't really know that was like a thing. I thought, well, like maybe like real models, fashion models, whatever, also obviously do the hands, and some of them do. Um, but it's a very specific thing because having like the face you want always doesn't equate to having the hands they want for especially for like fashion and things like that. And that's sort of how I fell into it. I didn't think it was a thing, but then like I started to ask around and I heard, oh, people just do hand modeling. They're hand modeling agents. And so what I ended up doing was like compiling a little video of like a lot of the commercials and like films I had done where they featured my hands doing something. And work started coming in pretty quick after that. So that was just sort of how it happened.
So what is it like what does the company need a hand model for? Like is in the sense of like, okay, if you use my hands instead of yours, the product's not going to sell? Like is that how they look at it?
Well, I think that it's just like in the close-up shots, you want everything to look good, especially for beauty and that sort of thing. Like you want it, so you want a nice hand that can hold things well. So I do think it's really important to have like, a good-looking hand holding the product. The company wants that.
It sets a tone for who you think is using the product.
Yeah. It's like they want someone who's like people want to be, or people, you know what I mean? The other thing too is, doubling, as I said, is a big thing. And so like you hire a hand model on set. Say like I did a commercial with Jennifer Aniston, and I was her double, right? And it's not because she has perfectly lovely hands, but they pay her a lot more than they pay me, right? So it's just easier for them to hire me.
Yeah, it's a lot better to pay time and a half on $100 an hour than thousands of dollars an hour. Does doubling happen a lot, or is that more?
No, that's a big thing in the industry for sure. Doubling. I just did can I say this? I think so because the trailer's out. Ariana Grande's hands in like a couple campaigns for, I don't know if I can say the products, but the products that are like doing campaigns along with the Wicked film that's coming out. Um, so I was her hands in those shoots.
That
I've done who else? I've done Natalie Portman. I did a bunch of Jergens ads for a long time, and it was Leslie Mann. I did an IHOP commercial, and I think she wasn't there. My shoot was on a different day, but she was in the main part of the commercial, and then I did the hands with the close up, with the pancakes and shit.
so now I know you do hands, but now do you do other parts as well?
I do feet pretty often. That's usually shoes.
Is feet any different than doing hands?
I mean, there is an acting aspect. I know it sounds stupid, but there is an acting aspect to all of it because the energy you emit, comes through in your parts, as you're speaking and everything. So there is something, like that was a very sexy commercial. And so, like, if you just kind of like, you have to think, you do it with your whole body, but they're just doing your feet.
Yeah.
So, like, oftentimes, like, if you watch me doing it, like, I'm acting in my face and my whole body, but they're just shooting the feet, because it reads.
Does the feet thing get weird though?
It can. Well, because feet do, I mean, I have nice feet, and I think obviously a lot of people who do foot modeling have nice feet, but even on camera, feet are just kind of weird, and people don't look at them that much. I have really long toes, which my partner makes fun of. He says I have alien feet. And I was like, these alien feet make money, dude.